Welcome to the Occupational Safety Leadership Podcast, episode number 313. In today's episode, we're just going to talk about one of the reasons corrective actions stall. There's a lot of reasons why, but today we're just going to focus in on one, and I think this is probably the most important one. But before we get started, please press that like button, subscribe, all that stuff then. One of my missions is to keep this 100% free. I want everybody to be a better safety professional than I was. And with that, it just needs to get more and more exposure out there. If you get anything from these episodes, please share with safety professionals. Get the word out, because what we're really trying to do here is just protect employees. So let's just dive into what I think is probably the most important reason why corrective action stall. So unclear ownership. Who owns the issue to be solved? It's very easy to say, oh, safety will solve it. Production owns that problem. So it's very easy to just assign a general thing, a, a, a general person. That's great, but you have to have an owner out there. So the one thing that's really helped me a lot is to specifically write down the owner. And not just that, but sometimes the owner will assign it to somebody. So let's just say that there's been there's there's a hazard and it's been found, and it's my job, to go ahead there and address it, fix it, come up with the plan, all that kind of stuff then. But I'm going to give it to somebody. So the owner can be me, Ayers, but I've assigned it to Smith. You know, Instead of saying that the owner is Ayers and I'm just depending on Smith to do the work, and then he's supposed to come back and tell me everything, and then I'm supposed to brief others. You know, what I've done is that I've taken it and assigned it to Smith. I still have ultimate ownership. Just like if somebody said, we've decided to give it to Jones, he's in charge of production. No matter who Jones assigns it to, or Jones tackles it himself, he has ultimate responsibility. So when something is late, something has not been done, that's up to Jones. That's not going to be, hey, that's not my fault. I gave it to Smith. I don't know why that it isn't done. Doesn't matter. You are the owner. The owner has to take responsibility. And of course, the owner's got to be the champion in this. It can't be, we'll get around to it. We're all busy. If it's something that goes on a list, got to take it serious, because, as we'll talk about in um, other episodes, another one which is just a little bit under, you know, what I think is just the most important one, with ownership, is going to be that lack of follow through. All of us have worked at a company, and it doesn't even have to be safety. It can be something else. You've submitted a question about vacation to HR, or you've done I find a hazard and it kind of goes into this black hole, and nobody knows how to answer it, but nobody can get back to you and give you a status, and you can even ask for follow up, and nobody knows what you're talking about, and just so that's going to be one we talk about in future episodes as well. Is got to have that follow up. You know, People don't like to hear the answer at times, but if that's what it is, that's what it is. It's better to tell people right from the get go. Don't try and tap dance and say, oh, we're working on it and we're this and we're that. There literally is going to be time where you can't get everything done, and you have to pick. This is what I'm going to work on. This is what I am not going to work on. And you have to go back and have that tough talk with the person. I know that you brought something up, and I know it's important, but we have other things to work on right now. Doesn't mean we're not addressing it, but you can't address everything at all times. It would be awesome if we could do that. But let's go ahead and wrap it up. Get back to the unclear ownership then. So have to have an owner, have to have a champion, have to have that person that no matter what, ultimately it's their job to get this done. That person cannot shed it off on Smith and almost raise their hands and act surprised, like, well, I don't know, I gave it to Smith. I guess if he didn't get back to me with an update, well, I don't have an update. When you're the owner, you got to be the owner and you drive it to completion. You don't drive it enough to be like, well, it looks like the pressure's off. I can focus on other things, and then if I get some free time, I'll circle back to it because all of us know that, and it's not even in safety, but anytime that you have an issue out there and you bury your head in the sand or you act like it's not that big of a deal, it just kind of gets bigger and bigger, and then it's going to be a big deal eventually. And not just is it a big deal, but now you've lost a lot of trust from the people that you said you were going to solve it, didn't do anything about it, and now it's even worse. You know. With that, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for joining me, and I hate to pander, but if you're getting anything from this, please share with other safety professionals. And again, I want others to be better than I ever was, help more people, save more. If you want to talk about fingers, um, save more fingers from being cut or cut off, save people from being injured. When we then think about occupational diseases, we're worried about things like asbestos and silicosis and all the other things out there. I want people to be better than I ever was. With that, let's wrap it up. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. David Ayers. Thank you and have a safe day.